This video is brought to you by the Zenonzard card game, the next evolution in artificial intelligence battle-based card games. What's up YouTube? Capital G here, giving you guys a first look tutorial and a full gameplay breakdown of the brand new Zenonzard anime-themed AI-based card game that is available for mobile platforms and is available 100% worldwide. No matter where you guys are watching this video, no matter what part of the world that you are in, you can download this on your mobile device by using the link in the description below. And if you sign up right now, you'll receive up to 240 of 500 cards because of current July events. But what exactly is Zenonzard? Zenonzard is a new online free-to-play AI-based card game that gives you the ability to fight against and alongside AI that supports you in the game and even can give you advice when you're in the midst of battle. I'll talk a little bit more about how the AI supports you and all of that when we get into some of the tutorials in the gameplay. But I would like to note out as I'm opening these packs, this game has a whopping 500 cards to choose from. You can build a deck with 7 different categories that are split into colors. It's actually incredibly creative, and I was quite surprised that they had this many cards in their card pool available already, especially considering that this is a very new game. Now, if you download using the link in the description below, you can actually get access to over 240 cards with the help of some of the ongoing events that are happening in the campaigns during July. You'll also notice that the minion cards look absolutely phenomenal. The artwork is really fantastic, and there is a rarity system as well, which makes it really nice when you pull some of the higher rarities. Lastly, they do give you enough cards from the jump to create your own deck. Now, one of the things that I thought was really smart and intuitive, and you guys are seeing it right now, is before you even jump into the tutorial, Zenonzard gives you like a really quick pseudo personality test, and this, in my opinion, is supposed to basically gauge your compatibility with one of the 16 AI partners that you have available. I'm showing you guys some of those partners right now. They all look absolutely magnificent. In fact, Zenonzard has its own full-on anime where some of these characters appear, and you guys can see that there are different ones. You know, a lot of them have different play styles, and the game is basically trying to, give you a quick hint at which one might be best for you. Now, you don't have to select based on the precision. However, it is just something so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you're like, oh man, I don't know who to pick. I don't know who to actually select and who's going to be the best partner for me. Also, don't forget to check out Zenonzard on Twitter. Use hashtag ZenonzardACI for more details. One more thing, check Zenonzard out on Facebook. They got a lot of friendly and enthusiastic players in the Zenonzard Facebook groups. By the way, these AIs don't just look different, but they have their own unique play styles, strategies, weaknesses, and advantages, and also their own voice actors, which is absolutely magnificent. I'm feeling kind of spicy and I like gambling, so I'm actually going to pick the Gambler AI. Now, before we jump into a ranked game, I think it's very important to go through the tutorial, and while this is optional, I implore all of you guys to go through it because it is designed to show you guys the basics and just kind of the fundamentals of Zenonzard, how to check your cards, how to play them, how to attack, how to summon cards, etc., etc., what the phases are, how to use them, how to adjust the battle speed if things are going too fast, or how to, speed them up if things are going too slow. And even if you do skip this, you can repeat this at any time, as well as if you just feel like, you know what, I didn't quite get that, let me go ahead and run through that again so I understand it. Now, Zenonzard is a mana based game, and there are 3 core phases: the mana phase, the main phase, and then finally the flash phase, which is where all the magic happens. I'm in the mana phase right now, and I just picked up a white card. That's a base minion. And what that does is we're going to place that in the base, which is highlighted by that green or bluish kind of rectangle. And what that allows us to do is generate mana every single turn. Mana is a resource that is used to summon other minions. And what I like about that is, since, Zenonzard does have mana, it's never really like you're overwhelmed by anything your opponent can do straight from the jump. They're not able to just jump on you and then you can't come back. So it does, it forces pretty much both players to kind of have a lot of interaction, and you can never get too far ahead of your opponent. Now, at the same time, your mana does replenish itself every turn, so you never have to worry about spending too much mana on one card, and then if things don't go right, it's like, oh man, I spent all my mana in one card, I can't really do anything anymore. That's not going to be a problem as well. She's explaining some of the other parts, like how to end your turn, the battle assist, and stuff like that. And one awesome thing about this game is if you ever just get confused, or you're in a bind, you don't quite understand what you should do, or you just need a little bit of help, you can actually get advice from your AI partner, and your AI partner will adjust to your playstyle and stuff like that. Anyways, I actually picked up a minion, and this requires 2 mana to summon, which you can see is being highlighted by that circle. So we're going to go ahead and spend our 2 mana, and we're going to put this on the field. Now, you can put minions in the base, and that can help you just make more, or that can help you generate more and more mana. It's actually really cool because even with the base and the field being different, you can take minions that are in the base and you can put them on the field and vice versa. It actually creates a whole lot of really cool things. It's showing you the different types of minions, field minions, and then base minions using mana, and then field minions are used to attack and to like block attacks from your opponent, which you will actually see Mina, who is our AI opponent, you'll see her do that a little later. Anyways, so the way that you win in Zenonzard is to reduce your opponent's life to 0, and you can see that I'm actually going to direct attack her using the flash phase because she is completely open. That 1 is how much damage I will do to her life. So you can see that she'll take 1 damage, and then that 300 that you see in that bluish color, that's actually my attack value, and that comes into play when minions are battling against each other. So we did go ahead and we attacked her directly, and now we're going to pass. Again, she's not really interested in winning. She's just going to show me how to actually play in the fundamentals. In this turn, I'm going to pick up another minion, and I believe we're just going to go ahead and summon that because right now we've got her backpedaling and she's just summoning and she's not really doing all that much. So we're probably going to pick up another minion, and it is one where my mana is going to regenerate. So I can go ahead and summon this to the field, and then we can start declaring some attacks. Now, this is where blocking comes into play because you see, if we were to land that attack, she would actually be finished. She only has 1 life. She can't survive that because it would reduce her to 0, but she's actually going to use her monster to block my attack. And that's a really cool aspect of this. It shows you how, battle values essentially dictate which monster is defeated. My monster had 15 or 500 attack. Hers only had 300 attack, so my monster is going to be victorious, and we will ultimately finish her off with 1 more attack. Okay, so part 2 of the tutorial, and this is very important because it talks about paying mana costs, and it also talks about the force powers, which are those orbs you see next to the AI. So I started with the mana phase, and you don't draw a card if you are going first, and then I played my my base minion in the base just to generate some mana. You can see that I have a red and a yellow minion. That means that they require those specific colors to summon, and you don't need to pay fully their mana cost in that color, but at least 1. Since I did activate some yellow mana, I can summon that weasel there, but I can't summon the red one because I don't have any red mana, so that's perfectly fine. Anyways, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and attack her force. Now, forces are very, very powerful. You want to keep them alive as long as possible because they give you some really nice and powerful effects, and generally you don't want to let yours be destroyed, although when it is destroyed, they have some bonus effects that let you get some resources, etc., etc. So you can see right there that I'm getting back my mana, and I am just going to continually summon. You cannot attack your opponent's life directly if they do have a force, not in the same turn that you summon a monster. However, if a monster is already on the field, then you can start attacking your opponent. So you can see I'm going to go into the flash phase. I'm trying to destroy her force completely, which only has 1 attack left, but she is now going to start blocking it because she doesn't want to lose that. So she's going to have to sacrifice some of her minions on field, which is unfortunate for her. But yeah, you really want to try to protect your force as long as possible because they just give you those really powerful effects, and you want those things to last the entire battle if possible. Now I'm going to take 1 attack, but you can see my force still has 1 life, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need to sacrifice any of my minions quite yet. Now I did pick up some red mana. This means that I can finally get that red minion out of my hand, and then we can start doing some damage. Again, we can't attack her directly with that minion. However, we can remove her force off the field. But let's show you guys what it looks like when it all comes together. I'm going to hop into a ranked battle and be playing against some enemy AI. One of the awesome things about Zenonzard is the fact that you're playing against your opponent's AI. And this means that there are no disconnects, there are no bad sportsmanship, no bad manners or anything like that. You don't have to worry about your opponent flaming you mid-battle if you make a mistake or anything of the sort. So I'm going second, and I'm going to get rid of some of the cards that I don't want. I don't generally like opening with a bunch of, high mana cost minions. I like to have the lower ends, and I generally am a player where I like to try to set up my mana pool early so that later as I draw those guys, I can, freely summon them. I don't have to worry about a dead card in my opening hand weighing me down or anything like that. So I'm almost always going to start my opening turns by playing some of the mana cards. Now, flash timing is something that you really have to learn about, because it is pretty advanced, and as you play against higher ups, they are definitely going to use it. Keep in mind that you can summon during either player's flash phase, so not just your own but your opponent's, and it has some pretty shocking results if you use it effectively. When you start playing against some of the more advanced AI and just some of the better players, you are going to be able to use that, and it'll probably be used against you as well. Now, as I've said before, if you're ever in a position where you don't really know what to do, you feel like you're being overwhelmed, you can always ask your AI for help. You can see the enemy AI is currently attacking my forces, but it's perfectly fine. They have a bunch of hit points, so they can take a little bit of damage. I'm going to continue stacking that mana pool up, and now I think I'm going to start summoning some of these more powerful minions. And I like to put, try to get some pressure on my enemies by, stacking up the mana pool and then forcing some of them big monsters out. Now you can see some of my base minions. That's a minion that was in the base zone is now being put into the field zone. That is just, it's really awesome, the fact that you can use minions as mana and then later you can summon them and they can attack, they can defend you. So it is a really nice aspect of the game. I am getting kind of low as I'm getting attacked a couple of times, but hey, two life is perfectly fine because you only need 1 life to win. Now, he is also going in on my forces, but as I've said before, even when you lose forces, it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. You can see as I skipped ahead a little bit, I lost both of my forces, but I'm still in the game because I've got a lot of minions on the field. And if you get the right spells, which spells also cost mana to play, basically mana isn't just for summoning your minions, it's for also playing a spell, as you guys see. Now, he's actually down to 1. I just have to be able to land 1 solid attack, but you can see he has so many monsters, and in the flash phase, he's gonna summon some monsters. He's gonna activate some of those spells from his hands. He's not gonna let himself just get attacked, basically. I've got to figure out a way to force this attack through, and that's when it becomes really interesting, when you get all these monsters on the field and it looks like, oh man, someone's going to take somebody out, but then you have the block phase, and then you can activate spells from your hand, and it just becomes really interesting to try to navigate that, because it becomes kind of like this really big tug of war. You see I'm throwing everything but the kitchen sink, and I'm finally able to get an attack through and ultimately close out this game. So as you guys saw, not only does the game look absolutely phenomenal for a mobile game, and the battles are a blast, but in addition to that, if you're not the most creative, deck builder, and you don't know what exactly you should put in your deck, the ratios and stuff like that, don't worry, your AI has you covered as well. The AI doesn't just help you in battle, teaching you new tactics. The AI can build an entire deck for you, so they can just take away the complicated aspects some find in building a deck. As you progress through the story and as you battle more, your AI is also going to level up, making them stronger. So it really is a perfect perfect partnership, and your AI is just such a reliable tool and asset to you throughout the entire course of your Zenonzard experience. So I've been having a blast with Zenonzard, and you guys need to download Zenonzard from that link in the description below, giving yourself the chance of receiving up to 240 of 500 cards during the ongoing events and campaigns happening right now in July. Don't miss out. Head to the description below and download Zenonzard today.